Hi everybody, welcome back for part two. What we now we've got the scooter in the shed. What I think the next step will be is to start taking stuff off. We also need to do a list as we notice bits and bobs that are coming off. If they're not usable or they're broken, you know, missing, whatever, we just need to have a piece of paper and a pen and just write down what's missing. What we've got. Then we need to go through a list, like take all the bits off bit by bit. The wiring loom looks like somebody's purchased a new one, so I'll have a look what we can do with that, and we'll take it from there. But as I was saying yesterday on the first video, if you can look, these are stainless steel, which is one of my hallmarks. I do like using stainless steel. Anybody who's watched my videos will see that. I don't know what condition this is in. It's just painted, whereas the bottom one is totally good. Now I might decide to remove these yet, I don't know. I'll just have to take it and play it by ear and see how we go. But what I'm going to do is just cut away, because all the bits that I've got loose, like leg shields, runners, panel work that's off already, is going into another shed, so I'll cut back in when I've done that. Right, so I've taken off all the loose bodywork that was with it. Excuse me, with it. What I'm going to be doing now is just cutting off all these tie wraps. I'm going to take off the handlebars, and I'll show you how to do that. Then we need to have a look at the switch, disconnect the front brake, etc. So with the handlebar, we might have them under there, I don't know. No, so we've got two missing screws underneath. All we've got to do is take out our headlight, I should say, screws on the side. Now I don't know how good the screws are in this headset. It looks pretty rough, because people don't understand, when you're stripping aluminium, just get yourself you know, a little vat of standard thinners basically, and just dip that in the standard thinners. All the paint will come off. You don't have to gouge anything. Same with the horn casting, the air boxes, you know, the little part that goes above there that's already been removed. Anything that's aluminium, just leave it in, you know, like what I've got down there, if you can see it. I don't know if yeah, so you just fill that up with some thinners, leave it soaking overnight, and the stuff, literally the paint will fall off of it. This looks like it's covered in, I mean, look at the chrome on that. It looks perfect, don't it? I'm hoping it is, because every little saving you make is money in your pocket basically. So I'm just going to get a screwdriver out and take out these screws from the headset. Doesn't feel like there's one at the bottom, and then I'll cut back in again. So there's one on this side, one on the other side, and I'll cut back in. I just wanted to cut back in with the wiring basically. If you're reusing any of the wiring, or you're not sure what cables go where, just take a photograph of it. I'm going to take the headset up, push it up, and it's as easy as getting your camera in and basically taking a picture. I won't be doing that, because I'll be doing my own wiring, as I always do. So this is a SIP Speedo, as I was saying yesterday, so it's got its own wiring loom. Looks like somebody's had a go at getting it working anyway. I don't know how successful that was. We need to test it out prior to doing anything with it, because if it's no good, then I've got a spare Li150 125 Speedo anyway in the garage that I can quite easily put on there. Nice to see brass gear and throttle, the wheels that basically send all the cable movements down. Right, so next thing I'm going to do is just disconnect the cabling. Like I say, I don't need to write all these cables down, because I need to see what this loom coming up has got, whether it's a battery loom, an AC loom. It looks like it's been dug on something there as well, so I'd need to check the cables are okay in it. The fact that it's grey is a bonus. And clean it all up and check it out, because I might have to pull, in fact I'm probably 90% certain I'm going to have to pull another power down here from the battery, because as you know we're not going to keep this AC, it's going to be DC, and it might even be full wave rectification. And another tip for you, just get yourself a box. As you're taking bits off, stick them in the box. You can't lose them then, unless your missus girlfriend whatever decides to move that box into the bin because it's in her way or his way or whatever. Hey ho. So we're going to just disconnect all these cables. Don't know what that earth one is, you know. It astounds me over the years that it's not rocket science to wire up a Lambretta, but you know, these people all have a go over the years, and I suppose it's not like it is today where you can just go and buy stuff and make stuff. You know, the technology wasn't there years ago, but you know, we basically want to strip down the handlebars completely, put all the parts back in there, get the handlebars off. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So while I'm just disconnecting these cables, that's boring to show you, I'll cut back in a sec. So headlight's been disconnected. I've left it into the headlight itself, but I'll probably go with a new complete headlight unit. We do need to check that screw hole at the bottom inside the handlebars is good. It does look good, to be honest. I mean, the easiest way to do that is just take out a screw. I've got in there already. One of these and stick it in the bottom. Yeah, that's a relief. So I'm going to stick that back in there along with the two screws that I've taken out. I'm going to just take the speedo off next, so I'll cut back when I've disconnected the speedo cable itself, one that goes down to the worm drive in the front wheel. Right, so I've put the little screws back in, 3 of them, and the bracket that holds the speedo in, where I'm quite happy that all these threads are good. So that means that's a good headset top. It just needs stripping properly of the paint. It's just a shame that, you know, it's got scratches on that, so I'm going to have to get a new glass for that. That's something I don't have. I've got old glass, but I haven't got new. But it's just the same as any Lambretta one. You just literally peel that off, put the new glass on, and put your rubber seal back. Because it's scratched, I can put it in the box. The bracket's already in the box. So that's our first part we stripped off the bike. Right, the next bit now I'm going to be taking is the switch off, and we'll start with the 2 screws that hold it on. These 2 here. I need to see that you can actually see what I'm doing. So these 2 screws here, take them off. I'm hoping that, yeah, that's pretty good. And again, I'll replace all these with stainless steel. Put it down there. Probably better off to put this on the tripod to show you. It's going to be better for camera anyway. Or when I take this off, I'll transfer onto the tripod. So you just keep going with these till the screws come out. Like so. That one's out. I'm just going to drop it in the box. They do actually look like stainless steel, but they're rusty on the top, which is a bit weird. Suppose it's cheap stainless steel, I don't know. Right, so all we've got to do now is pull our cables back. Somebody's joined the horn one on there, so I'm just going to cut that. Or can I pull it up? Yeah, I can pull it up. So I'm just going to pull it out on there, like so. Pull it up and push that through by pulling this. As you can see, the handlebars are darker blue, so it was a 2-tone bike. I push our cable through, like so. What you can do if this is a bit stiff or it's very old, is to take out the rod. These rods have been out before because these bolts are not original. They should have a screwdriver cut into them. Perfectly usable though. It's like how far do you want to go. But I think because this is aluminium, that should polish up as well. And it does feel alright pushing it. I might even go GP out, I don't know. But it depends what I decide to do. So I'm going to have to put the camera down, unfortunately, while I pull this through. I might even just undo these and do it the easy way. I'll cut back in and show you what I decide. What I've decided to do is take out the bolts there and the one that holds the brass wheels in. 2 7s and an 8. Keep these because these I just prefer the original ones, just me. And just slide off and pull the throttle that way. There we go. Pull it back again. Sorry, I need to there you go. I'll get this on the tripod, give us a sec. I'm hoping you can actually see this, but all I'm doing is pulling on the rod that way and pushing that way just to separate them. They should come off fairly easily. In fact, let me get a screwdriver in there and just turn the screwdriver. There we go. There you go. And it should get to a point where you can just pull it off with your hands. There you go. Keep the brass wheel. It's a weird cable. Oh, has it got the screw at the top? No, it's not. I've never seen that before. If somebody else has, it's got a nipple inside there, so you're going to have to pull it all the way back to push the cable through. Never seen that in all the years I've been doing scootering, so it's always a first. And then you just need to pull that cable through. I've got ones that clamp on the side, which that actually looks like it's one with a screw missing. So Joe Bodger strikes again. Believe it or not, that's fighting me all the way, but I'm going to leave that in. What I'm going to do is put the screw back in it so we don't lose the screw, like so. Doesn't need to be ultra tight, just make sure you do it at least halfway. And I'm just going to run the cable around. This is going to be rewired with new control cables, totally. Right, so we can pull our rod out now, completely out. A bit rusty inside there. I'll turn you around. This end part's a bit rusty, but what you do is just slide that back on again, stick it back in my box, and the little cover that holds that bead, the guide, whatever you want to call it, put in the box. And then what I'm going to do is put these screws back in the holes. The reason I do that is because A, I don't want to lose them, and B, I want the holes to be clear when I'm sticking this headset in the thinners, basically to clean it all out. So by virtue of doing that now, this cable is going to be dead easy to pull through. See, dead easy. Just get rid of my tool there, and what we're going to do is just pull it through bit by bit. There you go. It's twisted around the brake cable somehow, but she's coming on that one by one. Still caught a bit there, don't know why. Should just pull through. Oh, I know why. The outer sheath isn't all the way up, that's it. Turn it around and it's out now, so that will come through. Every cable you pull through obviously leaves a bit more space for the next lot of cables. So I've got just 3 caught at the moment. The red, the blue, and they are caught around this brake cable, and the grey. There's the blue one coming, the grey one's through, and we've got one more. So there's our switch, complete with paint. With the switches, you can take them apart and rebuild them. These are dead easy to do. I can run a video on that if anyone's interested. You can save what you've got. What we got now is we've got our front brakes connected, so I need to disconnect that, and I also need to pull down, or up I should say, this Speedo one. Our loom needs to come down and be disconnected. These control cables, they are black and they should be grey, but does it really matter? Probably not. I just break them. I'll stick them over there. Break the tie wraps, that is. Inside the handlebar itself, if I can turn it around a bit without knocking the camera over, there is this Allen bolt, and that beast there is the one that holds the handlebars to the fork stem, and this is really good. It's nice and easy. Whoever's put and rebuilt the forks knew what they were doing. Very happy about that. We just need a big set of Allen bolt keys in there just to turn it off, loosen it up, and the handlebars will come up. But before we do that, I'm going to get rid of this is part of the wiring for the Speedo, power wise. So I need to disconnect again that, them little nuts on there, up on here. I'm just hoping the camera's picking it up. So what I can do is turn that round at the moment, use the 8mm just to undo that one, make sure it comes out completely, and we can take the clutch and the front brake cable out in a sec. There you go, that one's out. It should have a washer under it. It is there, is it? Yes it is. So a little crimp washer. I'll stick that on the side because that's going to go back in again when we get the that part off. I thought this one would be a bit easier. People always seem to do work on the gear side and not on the front brake side. Don't know why, but they do seem to do that. Let's get a screwdriver in there. It's not hard, like I say, it's just a case of just pulling against one against the other basically. I mean, this is only an electrical screwdriver, so it's not hard to pull out. I'll do what I did before and just turn that, yeah, pull it through. There you go. And what we need to do now is just do what I'm doing there. 2 gear cables out, keep that again and put the bolt back in again, the 8mm head. I think they're only 3.5 or 4mm. We're going to clean all these up anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm just screwing that in so I can't lose it. Stick it in our box. We want these ones off now, because I want this part of the loom off. This is the cutout switch on an Li 150, 125. They don't have ignition, they just have a button, pardon me, at the back that you press and it cuts the ignition out. I prefer a key. That's why I say I might even go ignition, change this here for a GP type 1 and put a GP switch on it. I'll see how the mood takes me. I want to try to keep it more or less original. I'm not restoring it as original, as you know. It's already got some kind of a tuned motor in it anyway. The exhaust tells me that. So I'll put that part of the loom in there, and we're taking this one off along with a bridge piece. Don't lose them, and don't lose the little ball that's the guide ball. Right, so that one's off. So don't lose that, put that in the box, hoping that you can see that and I've not gone too close to the camera. These cable guides that are on there, there should be one on either side, but when you fit hydraulic you don't need two of them. So I'm just putting that back in, so we can put these bolts back in again. So put one in like so, and I'll get it lined up, that way we can't lose them. And the other one, and again we will clean all these up. The handlebar itself is going to go into a dip with some thinners on it. I just need to pull that cable out of the way because it's stopping me screwing that in, the weight of it. And again, they don't need screwing all the way in, but put them a good way in, because these gremlins do get older stuff. Right, we need to keep this washer here, and we need to take off these. They have got a bit of play in them. I'll have to see if I can reuse that one. I've got a few anyway, so, and that's not got an original nut at the bottom, but I can use that to hold the nut. We're going to be changing them anyway because they are not very good. On these handlebars with an Li125, they would have been painted the colour of the scooter. Just to let you know, these would be painted both sides. I personally like them polished, but you know, everybody's got their own take on that. So what I'm going to do is just put the nut back on there. It's not the correct nut, but it's there. Pull out the lever, and oh, it has got a spring in it. That surprised me. It's upside down, but the cup should be there the other way, and that's it. It's fallen off. So we need to keep the cup, pull the cable through because they're disconnected anyway already. Pull the clutch cable through and just put it up tidy. I don't know if you can see behind here, but I've got literally a box of cables. I buy them as they come up. You never ever stop using cables on a scooter. So anytime they're on eBay, Marketplace or whatever, I recommend you buy them, snap them all up. So let's pull that back. We can pull our outer out and our rod out. We're not taking these apart at the moment, but we've got our guide. It is a bit rusty on there. I might have to use a bit of paper on that just to tidy it up. But that's the washer that stops everything binding in. It's basically sacrificial. It goes on here, so that rod can go in there. And I'm just going to get a bit of wet and dry paper, which I should have. You can use that, and just tidy that up a bit so that it slides off. On the end of the handlebars themselves, I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's these plastic guides. They need to come out as well. And this casting is quite rough in here. That needs tidying up in there. That will catch a cable. You know, you're out to improve stuff if you can. All right, see if that will slide off now. Yeah, it's going better. There you go. So that guide, keep that. Again, that's saving you money. These need to come out at the end, so we'll get a screwdriver in there. Have I dropped on the floor? Nope. Put up there. No, I can see it. So just put a screwdriver in, and just turn it a bit, work it out nice and slow, it'll come out. What you can also do as well is put a rod in there and bash it out, but bear in mind this is nylon and quite soft. I can already see that moving out, not greatly, slowly, but that's what I'd expect it to move slowly. There you go. Because again, people don't use grease when they build up stuff. You can buy these relatively cheap anyway, and they are normally, I don't know if that one, it does look a bit rough to be honest, looking at the edge. So I'll take that off in a bit. I'm not that worried about it at the moment. It's easier when the handlebars out of the way. So we've got our clutch cable out, that can come down. Oh, knocking you over there, and out of the way. We've got our gear cables, they're free, they can come down. I'm going to get them down there one at a time. One. And two. There you go, they're both out. We've got our front brake to take off, and again the easiest way to do it, if I bring you back a bit, is just take the lever off first. That might be a proper clamp at the bottom there. Whoopie-doo it is. Yeah. So again, all we've got to do is undo this screw. This should have a star washer under here, which it has. We are doing well here. And these should have to screw in. There should be a thread at the bottom here. See, that's missing from there. That should have a nylon guide in there. And you've got a washer in there, see it? Keep them in out, and we'll keep turning that. The thread's gone, which is what I'd expect, to be honest, because that should be coming out, and it's not. But the star washer at the bottom is still there. Just give it a knock with the bottom of the screwdriver. Take it out, and there's our star washer. Hopefully you can see that. We won't, like I say, we won't be reusing them anyway, and hopefully we've got another spring in there. I do like to see things done properly. Yeah, I think we have. Judging by that, there's not a lot of play in that. Right, so what we've got to do now is just disconnect the cable down below. I have to drop you down, unfortunately. Oh, pressed it too hard there. But this nut here, this brass nut, goes on the cable, so we just need to disconnect that. A pair of 5 holes or big screwdriver, it's not screwdriver, you know, pair of pliers normally do it. All we do is just turn it off. Unfortunately the camera is right where I need to be, and just do it anti-clockwise. Might be able to do it with your hands, I can. Sometimes they're worn out and you can't get to them. Always keep original ones of these. I find the new ones, especially the stainless steel ones, are pretty naff. They don't seem to be very strong. So if you look on that, it's got a cut out in it on the side, and what you're doing is you're turning that, and that's what holds the adjuster knob in place when you turn it, so it goes up over the little part here. There you go. Try not to get in the way. So it goes against that like so, and turning. I'll get my hand around that way. So the cable adjuster thread comes through here, and what you're doing is, as you're tightening it up, it comes through that way, and vice versa going back. And as you turn it around, it should lock in position, so it shouldn't let go. We need to save all of them. All we need to do now is pull the cable around from there, and we're left with our cable around. So we just need to undo that and get the cable out of the way. Build it up. Right, so on my socket set, I've put an 8mm. It needs to be undoing, so this needs to undo. And all you do is just stick it on the nut. Use your fingers to push against. They're never ultra tight, but you'll find the stainless steel ones that you buy nowadays, these go here. The thread goes, especially on the back one. I find it more on the back than the front. But all we have to do is loosen it enough so that we can pull our cable through, and then we're free. That can be, it should have a spring on there, by the way, which is missing on here, but it did work fine. You know, when I tried it, it seemed to work fine. Should be a little spring on there. So again, what I'm going to do is just rebuild it again. On this as well, it's got a flat part, so it slides down the flat part of here like so, and it should be spring loaded, and then all we've got to do is put the brass part on there. Again, make sure it's on. Again, I've got loads of these springs and what have you. Then we can pull our cable up, and we can then go back up here to our, I'll bring you back up. Oh, it seems to be dead tight. Right, tighten that off. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. So all we do is pull our cable out. And yet that was dead tight. There's no spring in there. Brilliant. These are bent, which is not unheard of. They won't be being used again. And then just pull your cable out if we can. Has that got the cut out? Yes, it has. So that's got a cut out for the cable end, for the thimble bit. So that cable should come that way with a bit of luck, or maybe not. I haven't got time to mess around with it because I'm trying to get as much off in this video as possible. But we can straighten the cable out down here and push it out. Get the pliers and just straighten the inner cable that was put in. As I say, they're all black cables. Again, for aesthetic reasons, we just put grey back in again. I've got some nice white ones there as well. I might be putting them on. So I'm going to bring that round there. I should be able to pull that through and down. There we go. Cables there. And again, never chuck nothing out. Put that in there. Just make it a nice loop, stick it on top. And we'll pull our inner cable out along here. Then we've got, for this part, we've got 2 screws down the bottom. Yep, I can feel them. They don't appear to be the correct type, but they're in. So what we need is a big screwdriver for them. And we'll come around this way. I'll try and get you straight again. There's 2 screws there. After all that, they weren't even in very tight. So let's get the screwdriver on them and turn them. Believe it or not, these were turning in my hand a second ago, like that one. They appear to be right, but they don't fit. And the head's miles too big with them. What I tend to do is just get a wooden part of the hammer, or what you can do is get some heat on here and move them around. Let's get some heat on it. What we can do as well is put some oil in here. Give it a lot of heat. And if it still won't move, what you can do, put some cold water on it and heat it again, cold water and heat it again. Just take your time. Take the time. That's one thing you've got, and the bigger one you've got, as I keep saying, you've got all the time in the world. If it doesn't come off, walk away, leave it, go there tomorrow. There's no, there's no big deal. It's not clever to break stuff, especially if it's stuff that's hard to buy. Only need the nearest of tacks. There you go, see what I mean? What we can do as well, because this is rusted on here as well, just that's nice and loose now. So we broke the bond on that. Turn that off. We might be able to get it with a pair of pliers and just slide it off. Bear in mind this is going to be hot. So don't do silly things like pick it up with your bare hands. There you go. Nice. It's only getting caught because of the rust. There you go. I could stick that on the side to cool off. So we've got this side bare, the other side bare. We just need to get this. We've got our clip for our cable. We just need to get our stop cut out, button out, and there's just one screw, and it's like a U-shaped bracket on it. Hopefully no, it's too small. I didn't think it'd be that tight, to be honest with you. What a lot of people do while I'm talking, don't put your hand on there, burn your hand, that woke me up. What a lot of people do is they put this switch in here and they short it out on the bracket, and they wonder why they've got no spark. There we go. I think this has been painted as well, but anything painted we can get in and remove the paint. Right, so here's our bracket coming off, U-shaped bracket with some little digs in it, and this switch should come through this way like so towards us with the cable, the cut out cable. So what we can do is put the bracket on the back of it again. As you can see, that should be shiny, but like I say, I don't know yet. I have to make my mind up what I'm going to do with this bike. What I was going to say as well, I found a little washer there. I'm going to stick that washer with the switch. It wasn't with it, but I put it on the switch. What I'm going to have a look at as well is if I can see what the steering lock number is, because I've got a number of keys, and it's always again best to use original as opposed to, you know, second hand or whatever, or remade rubbish. So that goes back on like that. It can only go one way, which is, as you can look at it, that way, and there's our switch making contact. You can bell this out because one side is ground and one side should be the green high tension, but that can go in there. So I'm going to go in, I'll take out the switch, the lock, and I'm going to have to pull out this speedo cable. So give us a sec, I'll reposition. The lock, there's that screw there, and there's a spring and a plunger on there that you turn around against. There's a pin that goes through to the steering, so I'm going to undo that first and I'll cut back in again. Right, this screw here was immensely hard to undo, so it's never been out. What we're going to have to do, we've got the screw out, we're going to have to get a pick in and just turn the steering lock to move it and try and pull it out. Steering lock's down there. I'll put the screw down there for a moment. What I'm going to do, see if I've got a key that fits it. I mean, that might be the easy way. I'm going to cut back in a sec. How lucky am I? Look at that. It's a bit stiff, but I've got a key that fits it, turning it. So I should be able to pull that lock out, pick the paint off of it and pull it out. I'll cut back in when I've done that. Right, look at the condition of that. Lovely, that'll clean up like new. The key doesn't fit 100%, but it works it, and it's a 115, and this is a 341, so I'll have to try and acquire a 341 for that. I've got loads of steering locks, so you never know your luck. They're not that dear anyway to buy, not over the top. So now we've done that, and I've got the key there. What we need to do now is get our speedo cable out. So we just need to undo, turn you up, that one there, pair of pliers again, just keep going till it comes off. We will be reusing this cable because it does look like it's new, it's in good nick. No, still can't turn it by hand because it's probably still in there. Yeah, this is definitely one cable I'll be reusing. And it's out. So what you need to do is take the nipple off, the actual tightening bit there, to slide them off. Because this cable's going to be reused, we'll just push the whole lot up through the steering, pull it out the top, and then I'll tighten that up, clean it up again, and put these bits back on down here. But all we're ready for now is the handlebar to come off. So I need a 10mm, big 10mm. The one that does the filler, or should say the drain plug, should fit as far as I know. I'm sure it does. I'm just getting a 10mm. Sorry about the camera again. I'm trying to do balance in one hand, and of course because I'm trying to pull one Allen key out while the other one's there. So all we need to do is that. No, it can't be the same size then, that's a 10. So we've got enough to have a 9 then, or an 8. 8. There we go. Make sure that's home, and what I would do is just hit it with an hammer I'll cut back in again. It's loose enough just to turn by hand. Take it all the way out, take your Allen bolt out, and again it should have a lock washer under this. The reason why I'm taking this off to show you is how to knock out. We want to try and keep this cap in here for the steering lock, so I'll put that down there for a sec, and then we can just move our handlebars around so they come loose and just worm them up. I can't do this with one hand unfortunately, so I'll cut off and show you when it's off, but you're pulling upwards while wiggling it. This is the pin that holds your steering on. When you put the key in, that turns around, so we've got to just gently tap that through, and it should then knock that cover out. There's a spring in there, so you've got to be careful that you keep everything. What I suggest you do with anything from the lock is keep them all in a plastic bag, safe where you know where it is, and then all we got to do is undo these nuts and bolts to take the steering, the metal bracket for the steering off, and we've got completely bare steering bars, handlebars, completely clear, and we can then again light the top, dip them instead of trying to rub the hell out of them. I don't know, you know, it's just one of them things. Right, I've moved my battery out of the way. These are the spring, the plunger, and that plate that we needed. Sorry, now you can see them. So spring and the plunger that the key works down, that pushes that way when the keys turn, and that covers the whole mechanism up, so don't lose them. So what I suggest you do is put that into a plastic bag or somewhere safe, that when you're rebuilding your handlebars you know where they are. I've also, while our battery died, was take this bracket out of the handlebars, so we have got a completely stripped down handlebar now. And what I'm going to do is just put that screw back in there, because again I don't want to lose this screw. Right, so not all the way home, but good enough. This can all be cleaned up now and stuck into some thinners. I might actually put some on so I can show people what it looks like when it comes out the other side when it's clean. I just need to spray some cleaner on this, because the last thing you want is loads and loads of grease. You can actually just dip it in and brush it in and brush it off, but I'm not doing that at the moment. What I'm interested in the last part of this video is how good is this, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So if I get my pick and put the pick on there, just see what that paint comes off like, because it is coming off without any rust or anything on that. That is brilliant. These normally rust to hell if they're being left in our country, but that's what paint does, it saves it all. I don't know if you can actually see how shiny that is there. That'll be like new. So all we've got to do then is take off our lock, our suspension, should I say steering nut, the captive bearings in there, and the bottom we can drop the forks then, and we can take this off. It's held in with that grub screw, but that's for another video. I'm going to end it there. I think we've done quite a lot. We got the handlebars off. I mean, what I'll probably do when I'm switched off is just cut all these cables out, because it's a 5-minute job. You know, I'm cutting things like that away, taking that away, just taking the cables out. I don't know if you actually need to be shown how to do that. Taking out the back brake there. I just realised there's no circlip or washer on there. You know, I don't know how long that would stay on for. Really don't, but you know, that's all missing here. We'll go through that anyway. The stand needs to come out. The engine's dropped, and then I'll get the engine on the bench. That'll be one of the first things we do, see what's in it. I was told it flew, so we'll see. Take care everybody, thanks for watching, and look out for, it will be part 3. Bye for now.